If you're a heat and air machine technician or even a salesperson, what are 10 unethical negotiation strategies that are used against you, and why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Sylvan Bell, coming to you live from Sacramento, California, a perfect day talker about sales and business, and a fantastic day talker about you for HVAC technician sales secrets. All right, as a consumer, there's nothing wrong with looking for a deal. There's nothing wrong with asking for discounts. And I want to get this off the table because people say, hey, Scott, we're talking about negotiation. Yeah, normal stuff, right? I'm talking about the unethical stuff that is lying, cheating, stealing, and it's just wrong. It's wrong. But, you know, there's always going to be somebody who justifies it in their own way. Hey, I'm just trying to get a good deal, but might be morally bankrupt to do it. So we're going to just get past the basics of lying, right? Like, hey, sorry, you're a salesperson, which means that I can lie to you because you're a salesperson. It's something we deal with in sales. It's something we deal with as entrepreneurs. It's just something, okay. Also, withholding key information. So we're going to get past these two: withholding information, not having a conversation with you, and somewhat being vague. So the first one is false time constraints. Number one, false time constraints. And what this is somebody's going to call you up and say, hey, I've got an emergency, whatever that emergency is, and I need your product and I need your service and I need it right now. And your brain goes, hey, all right, let me figure out what I can do. And you sit down with them and you get to the end, they go, okay, we'll call you back. But you told me it was an emergency. Yeah, but we'll call you back. Now, so the thing about the emergency constraint that people do is it's typically, I don't want to hear anything. I don't need a presentation. It's an emergency. So what ends up happening is you can't share why you're different. You can't share why you're superior because you're not given the opportunity. It's like, I don't need a presentation. Same type of a thing. Okay? Kind of a mild one. Not really like super crazy, but it's still a little bit unethical. Number two, constant disruptions. So this is something that is taught in buyer's classes to throw salespeople off. And if this has never happened to you, it'll happen. And if it has happened to you, you'll be like, oh, now I get it. So you will be in the middle of a presentation and the person you're talking to will constantly interrupt you so you can't get traction, right? So you get frustrated, so you get flustered. It's a game. I think it's wrong. Number three, cash to credit pricing. So you talk to the person, you talk to the buyer, and they negotiate. Okay, cool, no big deal. And you set the terms, say, hey, this is for cash price. Cash, check, or cash, like the greenbacks, cash or check. And then, you know, it gets to the end, and all of a sudden, it's like, oh, well, now I want to use a credit card, or now I want financing. It's like, no, like you had asked for cash or for check. Way to deal with this is on your agreements, right? Cash pricing, credit card pricing, so you got it covered. Especially if you got somebody doing an install or delivery, it's a way to deal with it. You don't have to deal with the way that I would. I'm just giving you an example of what I would do. Number four, what would it be for multiple units? What would it be for multiple units? So without knowing that you're negotiating against yourself, if 50 units are, you know, $10 each, that's $500. And one unit is $20. The person in their mind's like, well, I want the 50 unit pricing. Well, I mean, hey, if you were buying 50 units of whatever I have to offer, then great. So, you know, put in your terms, whatever they are, based upon the purchase, and then also what the deposit may be. Like in California, like on a construction job, you can ask for $1,000 or 10%, whatever the lower amount is, right? 10% or $1,000 is the most you can ask for in California, especially around construction. That is a state law. So you can say, hey, a deposit, and then you can also say, by X date, this offer is expired, right? There should be an expiration date on every offer that you make. Hey, this expires on this day, right? It's just one way to fix it. Number five, lie about a life event. I've met with some interesting people in my life, and I want to say, you know, 2008, 2009 was a tough time for a lot of people in society. But I remember I went to a house, and the guy said, yeah, my mom just died. And, you know, sob story, sob story, sob story. Punchline to the joke, get done inking the deal, guy gets a massive discount. The mom drives up, and the grandkids freak out. You know, the dude's kids freak out. Grandma's here, grandma's here, grandma's here. Yeah, but the problem is the grandma that was supposed to be dead is the one that just showed up. Hallelujah, you've been saved. It is what it is. People will lie, cheat, and steal. And this right here is why you should join my email publication. I'll give you the goods. not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel, which means private coaching, private training, discounted coaching, or discounted training. I hope you thought that was funny. Number 6, they threaten you. If you don't, I will. Which technically could be considered a form of extortion. If you don't give me this discount, I'm going to write you a horrible review. If you don't price match, I'm going to write you this horrible review. If you don't throw in the warranty, I'm going to write you a horrible review. Yeah, that's not really cool. Number 7, pack the door. This is also the courthouse technique. And I've had this happen to me a couple times in the past where I would pull up and there was other companies at the property. And then, let's say it's 3 o'clock. And 3 o'clock rolls up. I pull up at 2:57, 2:55, get there a couple minutes early. A couple other companies pull up all at the same time. And the guy will stand on the doorstep and say, here's the project, here's the scope of work. And if you want it, you guys got to compete for the bid. Well, I'm going to share with you something. Somebody who's going to do that to you is going to cause you a lot of problems in your sales career. And so, like the couple times that it's happened to me, and the couple times that it did happen to me, here's the way I dealt with it. I'm not in this game. Let them deal with it. And one of the times I knew like half the people that were there. There were 6 guys at the doorstep. I knew half the guys. I'm like, guys, we're all going to lose here. And I'm talking to the homeowner at the same time. Like, I'm not in the game of losing. I'm in the game of profit. I work for a profitable company. I'm in the game of winning. And if this situation, I can't win, I'm not going to play. And so I looked at the 2 dudes that I knew and I'm like, I'm out. Are you out? And they're like, we're out. I'm like, I'm out. You out? I'm like, we're out. I'm like, hey, let's go get lunch. So we drove away and we laughed about it. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Stacking appointments could also be that, like, let's say your industry asks for like 60 to 90 minutes for a presentation to be given. Stacking the deck could be that they only give you 30. Stacking the deck could be that they only give you 15. Or, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot that we had 2 appointments at the same time. Okay, probably not. Probably didn't forget. Games, shenanigans. Number 8, bad faith negotiations. So I don't know how many times before I really got wise to this that somebody would make a deal. Like, let's make a deal. Let's shake on it, right? We started at 10,000. We got down to 7. Let's shake on it. Oh, I'm not ready yet. Like, what do you mean you're not ready yet? Like, hey, if I can do this, then what should be one of the questions that you ask? Hey, I need a better deal. What would that look like? And then they tell you, hey, if I could do that, then what are we going to do? Well, maybe. Like, this is where the vagary comes in. Well, maybe we could. Well, then maybe I can give a discount. Maybe I can't. Like, what are we saying here? Like, are you negotiating just for a price only to walk away when we're done? Or, are we talking about getting this done today? Like, you got to ask these tough questions. Number 9, cherry picking. Now, this is more of like something that happens in manufacturing or when you have big projects. And this is one of the reasons why if you're in construction, you should never, ever break down your proposal, right? A bid is where everything's broken down, but a proposal says, this is the scope of work. Here's your scope of work. And people are like, but I want a breakdown. Like, no. I don't do bids. I do proposals. Proposals don't break them down. And like some places there's rules about it. But what will happen is, like, let's say that there's 5 companies that are bidding on a project and there's 5 pieces of work that need to be done on each product. The cherry picking is this. The buyer will say, well, company A, company Alpha, their number 1 price was lower compared to everybody else. And company Bravo, their second item on the line item was lower than everybody else. And then company Charlie, their 3rd item was the lowest on everybody else. And then company Delta, their 4th item was the lowest on something else. And then company Echo, their 5th item was the lowest. And what I want you to do is I want you to match all those prices, all those price points on the bid, which to me stands for Beat Idiot's Deal, right? BID, Beat Idiot's Deal is what happens. And so cherry picking is this. Well, you have your product, your service, your widget, your gizmo, and I know what you're charging for it, but I'm going to break down each one of these things individually. It's just wrong, right? That's not the way it's supposed to be done. And then number 10, some people refer to this as nibbling, where you got your proposal and you got your DocuSign, you got your document, whatever you're going to do, and you're about to slide it over, and the person's like, well, I just want a little bit better deal on, I don't know, option A. And then you're like, oh, all right, well, let's do option A. And then you slide it back over and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. I just want a little bit better deal on part Bravo. And then, punchline to the joke, I want a little bit better deal on part Charlie, or I want a better deal on part Delta. We're using the military call-out signs here. Just be aware that sometimes 1, 2, 3 of these unethical negotiation strategies will be used against you, just know that at some point you have to make a decision, okay? I can't be you. You can't be me. But there's a point where I'm like, look, I don't understand. Excuse me. I don't mind somebody asking for a deal. I don't mind somebody asking for a discount. I don't mind saying people, hey, like, what can we do here? What I do have a problem with is when people flat out lie, cheat, and steal to get what they want, and then they justify it. They're like, hey, well, it's okay because you're a scumbag salesperson. I'm not saying that. I think you're awesome. I think you're amazing. I think you're one of the coolest people. You are my favorite person of the day, just so you know. So be aware. At some point, you are going to have this happen. 1 of these, 2 of these, 3 of these, 4 of these, all in one day. It comes in a row where you don't get them for a while, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, why am I just getting this person? Laws of physics, I don't know. Just call it part of the universe saying, hey, today's your day for things to not go good. Don't let it get to you. There's another sale out there. Someone's going to love you. They're going to buy from you. It'll be okay. You got 1 of 3 things to do from here. Just 1 of 3. Find the subscribe button, click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.